Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Bree Noble, and I am so happy to be here with Seth Werkheiser from Social Media Escape Club. Oh, can I just say how much I love that brand name? It's such a great name. So we're going to obviously get into how can we escape social media if that's something we feel that we want to do, or even just make it like a little less prominent in our lives if we need that for mental health reasons, or we just feel like we're putting a lot of work into it and it's not being very useful for us. So we'll get into all that and what can we do instead of that. But before we do, I'd love to get your backstory, Seth. I know I heard you on a podcast and I was like, oh, you work with musicians. This is cool. You have a music background. So let us know your music background, how you've worked with musicians in the past, and kind of what you're doing now.
Thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about all this stuff from social media to the music. I grew up in a musical household. Both my parents played in like bands when I grew up, like in the Poconos in Pennsylvania, the honeymoon capital of the world at one point, or so they called it. They played like three, 4 or 5 nights a week when I was growing up. Yeah, and then my grandmother had a band that my mother played in, and I learned growing up with the musicians. My dad was a guitar player, and of course, I picked up the guitar, but I wasn't really good at it. So I picked up my mom's bass, and that was a lot easier for me. And I got to be in bands in high school from that. So it was really fun. And yeah, just learned so much from them and being around music growing up. Of course, bands in high school. Realized I wasn't going to be a rock star, so I started writing about music in 2001 on a music blog. And absolutely, that was like the big turning point for so much of what I do now. I didn't know it that I was building a career from that, but it was just like I just wanted to help my friends in bands sell albums. And that just stuck. And at every point in what I've done, that's kind of been the foundation of it. And
That sounds kind of like a Derek Sivers story, from CD Baby.
yeah,
Wanted to help
yeah.
his friends sell albums.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, back in 2001, there were music blogs, of course, but they weren't talking about the tiny bands that I played with in Northeast Pennsylvania in 2001. So I was like, whatever, I'll just write about them. And that, you know, I put that on my that website, buzzgrinder.com, on my monster.com resume in 2006.
Oh, wow.
And a recruiter found me and I got a gig with AOL Music for a 3 month contract doing HTML, like hand coding HTML, like and writing blurbs for the music main front page. It was a wild time. It was I was in way in over my head. But yeah, it was a wild time and I just stuck with it. And so much in all this, and I think it's true of musicians too. If you just keep doing it, you could kind of outlast everyone around you. And then, 20 whatever years later, you're still doing it. So that's been fortunate to do that.
That's true. So, like, did you learn how to code and all that stuff doing
Oh,
that?
for sure. No, well, I knew that stuff from doing the music blog. Like, I mean, I've been on the internet since 1995 or so, and
Mm.
I was like learning how to like rip apart websites and hand code stuff,
Oh,
basic stuff, of course. So then I built some websites for friends in GeoCities, so
man.
yeah, I was always super interested in that. We had a computer in our house growing up. We didn't have much, but like we had a computer and we had like a Tascam 4 track and stuff I had enough as a young kid growing up. And yeah, the computer and the music thing absolutely made who I am today, like growing up, because we had that in the house.
And so then you had like a website and a newsletter for
Mm.
metal bands, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I did, geez. I did it I started a music blog for AOL Music in 2008 called Noise Creep. Left there in 2010 or 11. It's all hazy now, all these years later. But then I did metal trivia on Twitter for about 8 years
Wow.
to just stay like around music because I wanted to keep being a music blogger, music writer, or whatever. But I didn't want to write like 1,000 word articles. So I was like, maybe I can write trivia. It's a lot easier.
Mm.
So I would just tweet that every day on Twitter. And then I did a newsletter with it. Like every night, you got the answers with like a blog post that went with it. So yeah, I just again, I just stuck with it. I just never stopped trying to be around it.
Mm.
those were some pretty lean years, but it
I was
just
gonna
kept
say, were
me.
you making money doing that?
I had a Patreon, and I was scraping together a lot. I mean, but I was scraping together some crap like web work and stuff like that. But like by doing the metal trivia thing online, it was at least like it kept me sane. It felt like, well, at least I'm doing this little something and helping people discover like death metal bands from 1989, whatever. Like that felt good. So.
Wow. And then how did that lead to this social media escape club?
I mean, I've been on one of my geeky achievements, I get to say, is I was one of the first 3,000 people on Twitter. I was
Wow.
like user number 27 something or whatever,
Mm.
2,700 something. I loved it. I loved it so much. I was on it all the time. I did my metal trivia thing on there from 2011 through 2018. But obviously things took a turn with Twitter and social media. And what it was is I just, I worked around so many bands that were on Twitter, that were on Instagram, that were on Facebook, that like had these giant like follower numbers, but then like the number of likes on something was like 40,
Mm.
or they got three comments, or it was just, or if you saw view counts, it was like 60,000 followers and like 100 views. It was like, what are we doing here? What, like, wait, something's not adding up here. And it just became like, and I've been doing a whole bunch of like email marketing for some clients here and there. And it was just like, we're doing this thing over here with just basic email, and like people are making money and like driving sales with a lot less than 60,000 followers. And then everyone's over here like just working nonstop to get up those followers and engagement and this, that, and the other. And they're not even reaching 1% of their audience. So it was just like, wait, I back then it was like 2011, 2012 or so. I started writing about that more of like maybe we should look back at email lists again.
Well, I've been a huge fan of email lists this whole time, for
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, so when did you kind of formulate the social media escape club, and like what do you help? Is it mostly musicians in there or just like every
Mm.
kind of person?
It it's turned into every kind of person. I started it out in 2021. See, it's the whole like do as I say, not as I do. Like you would have thought I'd have an email list dating back to 2008, but of course I didn't. Finally in 2021, I was like, maybe I should have an email list for this. So I did that. I called it heavy metal email at first. Because I thought I was going to help heavy metal bands like make landing pages. Because
Mm.
that's kind of what I do. And like I work with a client doing their email marketing stuff. I was like, I could teach metal bands how to do this. And no metal band
Again,
cares.
they don't want to know how to make
They
land.
don't. They
What a
don't even know.
surprise.
No, they no. They and like I've seen bands lose access to their Instagram accounts or their Facebook accounts and lose like 60,000 fans. And then what do? Oh, we set up a new Facebook account.
Oh
And I
God.
was like, what, why? Don't please. So I was doing that, but also, as you could tell, like kind of banging my head against the wall with that. And a lot of the stuff I wrote out of the blue, like people started leaving comments or replying or sharing it with other people and saying, hey, this is for metal bands, but I think this counts for photographers too. Or I
Mm.
think it counts for painters too, or whatever. And after a while, yeah, it just kind of became, and I had a catchphrase like, what's your social media escape plan? Which
Mm.
is a riff on a popular metal band called Dillinger Escape Plan. And then a friend was like, you're really running a social media escape club. So I was
Ah.
like, I'm going to rename it that. And I
Ooh.
did that in 2023. And like, yeah, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like rocketed shit, like whatever, but like things have changed since I like realigned of like who this is for, being like creative people that just want to get away from social media and like not fall off the face of the earth. And it's done all right. So,
That's cool. Yeah, you do that, and you help people individually as well if
hmm
they need help with their website or their email or that kind of thing,
yep.
which I think a lot of bands need help with that for sure.
Oh, there's no
You know,
shortage. Yeah.
and even just creatives in general that like don't
Yeah.
want to be doing that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I with my email guidance offering, it's the of course it's the idea. Oh, book me for a one-to-one call, one-to-one call, one to one. And like there's enough one-to-one calls. You know what I mean? Like there's so many, there's only so many hours in the day. So I was like, well, let me just make it email. And like people can email me and I give one free reply to like their question, their quandary, like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And okay, great, here's a reply. Like I'll dive into it, I'll give you everything I know in that one reply. And at the end of it, I'm just like, if you want to go a couple more emails, like here's a Stripe link and you could book me to keep going a couple more emails. And like a handful of people do. And it's like great. And it's a good pace. It's calm. We get a lot done. And like, yeah. And I get to learn so much too. Like all these people are just sending me their questions and like things that like yoga teachers and their websites or speech pathologists and how they operate and stuff. It's like, whoa, okay, cool. Like there's so many of these problems that exist across all these different industries. And like so it's there's a lot of common challenges.
Yep. Why do you think that musicians don't embrace email? I know there's this whole like email is dead, which I mean I've been fighting against forever, but like do you think it's also that like they just don't want to have to try to like solicit people to get on their email list and they feel like it's just easier to like try to get someone to like click a like or something?
Yeah. I think part of it, and not just for musicians, but we all see crappy email marketing.
Mm.
We all see just, you go to a site and you sign up, and then all of a sudden you get like 9 emails from them, like in a week. And it's just like, and it leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And here's the shocker. You don't have to do that. Like you can, you can have an email list. And if you just want to send once a month, great. And then, but people are like, because they see the giant people do it, and like what Metallica's email marketing looks like has to be different than what your email marketing looks like, because you're not on that level. Like they get to send emails that are like, here's what this new vinyl repress looks like. They get to do that because they're sending it to a gajillion people, and thousands of people are going to buy it. They get to do that. But like if you're smaller, like you can't just replicate like, okay, I guess I could just send a photo of what my record looks like and everyone will buy it. And it's like, well, no, usually that's not how it's going to work. Like then now your open rate's 10%. Like you got to offer a little bit more
Well, and
in
here's
that
the
work.
thing, like Metallica is probably not writing these emails, right? It's their label, it's their
Oh, they have a
right.
whole, yes, they have an HQ. Yes, yeah.
And they want, and the people that are following some small metal band, they don't want that, obviously, but they want to hear from them. Like, that
Yes.
band is going to be writing the email and they actually want to hear from them.
Right. And it goes back to a buddy of mine when we first started on out on Twitter. It like, and we were learning it. Like he was a New York Mets fan, and he had a great revelation back then. It was like, I'm not gonna follow. He's like, I follow the Mets account and it sucks. But if I follow the Mets beat writers, all the newspaper writers, that's where the good stuff is. And like sorry, not sorry, but a lot of band accounts aren't great because it's just like we're playing blah blah blah. It's very stuffy. It's just the facts. But if you follow the bass player or the drummer is like a real comedic whiz, and like that's who you follow. That and that same thing can be like it's just text on a screen. If it's a tweet or an email, it's text on a screen. Like there doesn't have to be like one or the other.
Yep. Yep. And it's personality infused. I mean, that's
Big
what they
time.
want.
Yes. I mean there's why is there a show on TV for the past 20 years about storage lockers?
Right.
Like that's the most boring, like bands are more exciting than storage lockers. Like like that's it's a reality television show. You're in reality, you're a musician, you're playing, you're writing music, you're seeing other artists, you're listening to amazing music, you're doing photo shoots, that's a reality show. Like that's
Right. But when
people
you're in
want
the
to tune
band,
in.
you're like, this is just normal. Like everybody does
Right.
this. You don't see that, like, wow, like people want to know about this stuff, even though that's your normal life.
Yeah. Yes. Like I mean, I've been working in and around music 25, 30 years. Like, it's easy to take for granted that you're on a tour bus,
Right.
someone's tour bus, or like, doing the editorial thing on with Noise Creep way back in the day. Like, yeah, I'm here watching a photo shoot with Rob Halford. Like not many people got to do that. Like and it's easy to just be like, well, but that stuff's exciting. So like at any level, small artists, mid-rate, whatever, playing these regional festivals or something like that, or even like a venue downtown. Like there's so many people that will never be backstage.
Yep.
And you and I both know that backstage isn't all that extravagant, but most people don't know that. There's still an allure to that. There's still like this magic
Still a
behind that.
place
And
they
like,
can't go.
yeah, they
You
don't have
might like
access.
really
Right.
need new carpeting and paint because it's a crappy room, but it's a green
Right.
room, you know?
It is, right. And to share bits and bops like that with the people that you have like already signed up for and want to follow along what you do, like that's how you build camaraderie, trust, like allegiance, like, oh, this person's funny, like, or this person's interesting, or this person is insightful. Like that's yeah,
Yep.
it's so much.
Yep. So when you say social media escape, do
Yes.
you mean let's move this conversation off of social media so we can keep talking, or like let's literally get off of social media?
Well, I mean, I feel like I know a handful of musicians that are still, of course, on social media, but they don't follow the traditional, like, I have to be on this 8 hours a day. I have to be doing this. I have to be dancing. I have to go live. I have to, they get that. Like, I'm on it. They put up little bits of their music, this and that, but then they have like their own website. They have their email list. They're always getting like on social media platforms, it's all like, hey, here's this thing, you can get it on my website.
Mm,
Or buy my thing on Bandcamp, which now like gets them on the email list, and now I get to tell you about all this other stuff. So if you can handle that, if you're not putting all your eggs in the social media basket, like yeah, it's going to be hard to tell, I certainly don't. I don't tell anyone like what to do or how to do it. But there's other artists out there that are musicians or photographers that like I'm doing this and I like this is all I know how to do of how to reach people, social media. Apparently I'm bad at it, so now I feel shame. I see all these other artists out there, they're doing great. Well, yeah, that's the algorithm. That's how it works.
hmm
Some people have to win. That's how casinos work. Like so if you're putting all that in one place and you're and riding that as like the only way that you can succeed, like and then there's the mental health aspects of that, of like it's misery. Or even like I worked so hard on this release and I took the pictures and I did all the things right and stuff and I posted on Instagram and Reels and this that, and like four people liked it, and now what? Of course you're gonna feel like crap. No one cares, no one likes it, like, which is not true. It's just no one saw it. So no, my thing then is like how do you navigate that? How do you exist in a world where social media isn't the 95% of your marketing work? How does a website fit into that? How does emailing small town newspapers to say that you're coming to town in 2 months and help get 150 people at your show? Like that happened. I have a person on one of my calls, on my weekly Zoom calls, that talked about that. Never played a town, this one particular town, before. They sent an email to a newspaper editor and I think the local radio station, and they had 150 people at their show.
Wow.
Yeah, by just emailing like maybe some of the key people in that little area that could like maybe help make that happen. They're like, and so there's other ways to like help and get the word out and do stuff and find people. So
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I think that's the problem, right? Like we if we don't gonna aren't gonna do social media, which is fine. Like I have people
mhm,
come to me and they're like, "Do I have to?" I'm like, "No, if you hate it, don't do it." But you have to have ways for people to discover you. If you're not
yes.
gonna have social media, what are those things gonna be?
Hmm.
You know,
And not just and I would love it if everyone that's super talented and artistic, if everyone could just find you on their own because you're so good.
Mhm.
The Steve Martin, be so good that they can't ignore you or what. But it's a big noisy world. Like it's very difficult for that to happen. You better be really good. Um, but even that, like, so yes, it requires a little bit of like, dare I say, like outreach, like not literally, but knocking on doors. Like I have a musician friend of mine. He was the guitar player in the first band I was in high school. and he's not on social media anymore. And it's something like every Tuesday he spends like half the day just emailing people that he finds like on YouTube credits
Oh,
or album credits, just
interesting.
like lighting people, audio people, the whatever, just like, hey, I really like this. He doesn't BS people, but he's like, I like that work. I like this, that, and the other. That's what he does because he's not on social media. And that buddy of mine, like, he's also won a Grammy and an Emmy award. Like, if anyone gets to sit back and say, everybody come to me, I have these awards, like it's him. No, he's like after it every week.
That's cool. Yeah, I think people just don't want to leave social media because they don't know what they're going to do instead. And
Hmm.
obviously, live performing is a big one, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Oh, huge. I had someone message me that they have like I forget what it was, 40, 50,000 monthly plays on Spotify. But how do I get those people on my email list?
Good
And I'm
luck.
like, man, I don't know.
Eh,
I'm like, go play a show on a Tuesday night to 15 people. Then you could get a couple of those people on your email list, but Spotify ain't giving you those contact details. Like, I mean, that's great that you have that number, but like, I know bands that have artists that have way less than 50,000 a month that are on tours, that are
mhm.
playing like in front of people and building email lists and building relationship with fans after the shows in the parking lots out back. Like, that's what you do. It's all about fans. Like,
Yep.
get in front of some real people, make some music. And I mean, music's so emotional. People get song lyrics tattooed on them. You know, they play their music at weddings. Like, it's not just about like monthly plays. It's so much more than that.
Yeah, but if you do that, you have to have a system in place, right? You can't
Yeah.
just be like, well, they're just going to go find my website.
Right.
What do
No.
you find in the live shows that are the best ways to get people on your email list?
Well, that same person that got that 150 people out to their show, they were in a type of band, like obviously a metal band couldn't do this, but like at the start of one of their songs, they handed out their clipboard with their email, sign up for our email list
Yep, totally
during the
old school,
song.
but it works.
They got 35 people on their email list, just like that. Like, and if you just sit back and wait for your website to flow in 35 new emails,
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
wait a minute. Yeah. So there's that, and there was also this one other artist. I mean, this is a different level, but I think the concept is great. But like, I forget how they did it, but they set up a photo booth. Like they were big enough that they could set up a photo booth. They had enough people coming out, like that they could do it, that they could tour. But the photo booth was set up with an iPad. And of course, how do you get the photos? You got to put your
Your
email
email
address in.
address. That is so freaking smart. I love that.
Yes. Right. And so like a lot of musicians probably can't set up a photo booth, but you can get really close to that idea somehow of like, hey, how do I get your email address so I can send you this photo that we took or whatever,
I know
however you
that's
would do it.
really good. You could be like, let's take a
Yes.
photo together and then, just write down your email address right here. I'll make sure, and make them numbered or something because you have to know who the photo was belonging to. But yeah.
Right, something like that. Yeah, something like so there's that and of course like the QR codes kind of
Yep.
thing like or just having a device on your merch table and like and not just like the passive idea of like hey, I hope someone just comes by and drops their email address on. I have a musician in the UK that's on our calls every now and again. He'll like walk around with that iPad
Yep.
at like when he's having because not everybody at the show is not rushing to like sign up for the but there's those two or three people that might come up to you and like be talking so like why not have that device by your side so you can get them on there because the idea then too is like hey I might play here again
Hmm.
and if you want to come see me again like just give me your email address, I'll let you know the next time I'm coming to town.
Even just dropping that during the show
Yeah.
is important. Hey, I've had such a great time with you tonight. I hope you've had a great time. I'm hoping to come back here in a month. I'd love to have you come back. You want to know when I'm coming, that kind of.
Right, right. And you get three people, five people. You play two towns over, you get three people, five people, and that you just keep adding that up. Like that, I think is the thing. Like because that's very slow. It's hard. It's hard work. You got to load in a bass amp and get on the road and get home late. Like I would much rather if, a big popular Twitter account just retweets me and I get 1,000 new followers. But we both know, like, yeah, 1,000 new followers. The next time you tweet something, like 84 of them will see it.
Yep.
So you might as well just get 84 people on your email list, which is a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now, I used to run contests, which I found to be very
Mm.
useful too. If I had like
Yeah.
a closed venue, right? Where I could
Ooh.
be like, oh, I put, everybody that signs up either through the QR code or like literally pieces of paper, like draw. And that
Yeah.
was really great because everybody would give me their email address for that and their zip code, and I would know where they were. Or you could do like I'm on tour this weekend, and at the end of this weekend, I'm going to give away five whatever and mail them to you. So, make
Yeah.
sure to put your thing in there. Like, there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah. I believe too, like as far as capturing email address, like, and I haven't seen anyone do this, but the amount of photos that artists will put on social media from their shows, from their tour and stuff like that, and then it just kind of disappears, right? Like 4 days later, it's like, oh, it's history. But to put all those photos on like, your website bandname.com/tour, and
Mhm.
just have a running list. Like if you could have like those photos from that one town and then like a little quick story about that. And then like the next day is like 12 more photos and a little bit. And littered throughout is of course like an email sign up thing of like there's
Yeah,
so
want to
many
know when
ways.
I'm coming back to this town? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like oh my god, like we were talking about earlier of like, the backstage thing. Like, oh my goodness, they put my photo on their website. How cool. Like yeah, it's like small stuff, but like we take it for granted.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
that's another cool idea. You could have like a Dropbox link where you could say
yeah,
like upload photos that you took from this show, and if we feature yours, we'll shout you out or whatever. And in order to
yeah,
do that, you have to have an email address to
you
send it
got
to
to.
Dropbox.
Yep.
I just
Yeah.
came up with that. That's a great
That
idea.
is that. But see, that's how ideas come up is like, I mean, I always say this, like this rectangle doesn't have all the answers. But the more rectangles we stack in some of these places, like I've been in some Zoom calls too of like with like record label people and this and that, like so much just comes out of other people talking about the challenges and the how bad this sucks and this well but whatever but like you start like wait this person did this or this artist did that then all of a sudden stuff can just click and like that's a scary proposition too because for a lot of musicians like we're kind of taught like we're artists or creative people we got to come up with all this stuff on our own
Mhm.
like we are the lone genius we are the lone creative
Oh
no
my
one
gosh.
understand
Why should we do that? We have so many other things we should be doing with our time, right?
right yeah yeah
Let's learn from other people so we don't have to figure it all out ourselves.
so like there are a handful of other like newsletter writer people that I talk to that I text that I sometimes have phone calls with like how do you do the membership thing or how does this work or even small business people I talk to a couple like how they do their offerings do we work in the same industry no not at all but like so much of this stuff is universal and I think even that instead of spending 4 hours on social media every day if you just spend an hour a week talking with a bunch of like your peers like at your level like other musicians and artists and recording people whatever. Oh, like you're gonna learn so much from that.
Yeah, no, totally. Okay, so one thing I want to make sure we get to before we end is I want to ask you about the whole like, should they be on Spotify? Should they try to push people to Bandcamp instead, their website? Do you feel like there's a progression? Like maybe we should
Mm.
send people to Bandcamp first and then eventually go on Spotify?
I mean, for the whole discovery thing, I guess, on the streaming platforms is of course the allure is like it's so big, it's so huge, and it works sometimes. Like we always hear it. Like someone goes to a show because they found them on Spotify. I
Right.
get that. Like it's hard to argue against that. But at the same time, if you've been at this for a minute and like you're just like, I hate what Spotify stands for, or I hate what Apple Music payouts or whatever, like I feel like you the idea like the artist is the one in charge, I feel like I'm playing somewhere on a Tuesday night, and how many times have we seen in the comments like, oh, that's an hour away, I can't, it's a work night, I can't. Well, sorry bud, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm playing there on Tuesday night, come or don't. And it's kind of like the idea, you know my music's on Bandcamp. Well, I don't. That's where it is. Like, if you can do that, of course. Now, there's an artist that I follow that does have their music on Spotify and all that stuff. But in all their email marketing and anything they post, come to my website to buy my music. They don't promote that we're on Spotify. They kind of figure like if anyone looks for it, they'll find it. But like,
Right.
they're not going to do the marketing for Spotify. If you want to listen to my music, come to my website, go to Bandcamp, you can hear it there. So I guess there's the two parts of it, but like I feel like if you can get away with not having, and the idea too is like, oh, all those monthly listens help you get booked, this, that, and the other. Or if you just have a lot of fans, you can play where you want. Like, you can rent rooms, you can book your own tours, you can play house shows. Like, the gatekeepers are the gatekeepers. Like, that's a game that you don't have to play if you don't want to.
Yeah, I agree. That's true. And sometimes just chasing streams is just so frustrating and you don't even know if it's gonna get you anywhere. I think that, if you've got the fans, right, it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense to me. You could potentially release first on Bandcamp or your
Oh,
website and like only
hmm
offer it there for like 3 months or 6 months and
hmm
then move to Spot. Then you go for the discovery play,
You could, yeah, yeah. But let people find it first, like in a place where, yeah, they can listen to it a couple times, they could stream it, you put out a CD, or vinyl. Like, people will give people an option to give you money. Don't go in debt over it. Don't buy 500 records probably if you've never sold one. Like,
Right.
probably not a great move, but let people make some cassettes. They're cheap, and see if people buy them.
I
I
don't get
buy
the cassette
cassettes.
thing, honestly, but yeah.
I do buy some cassettes, but like, I don't have anything to play it on. But I buy it because I listen to their music on Bandcamp all the time. Like, I'll
Right.
listen to it there. So yeah, give people the option to like give you money in ways that aren't just like a t-shirt or showing up in a show.
And I think educating our fans too, like letting them know, like, here's why I'm not putting it on Spotify. Here's what
Hmm.
happens if I put it on Spotify. I get 0.02 cents
Yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
versus if I put it here, on my website, or if you buy a
Hmm.
CD from me, like you are actually funding me to make more music.
Yeah. Yeah, it's remarkable the conversations I see in the comments here and there of people like, "Oh, Bandcamp has the biggest payout." Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not payout. Like, people buy that and they just get a bigger chunk of what people buy. Like, it's not this imaginary amorphous algorithmic number that Spotify just dreams up that
Mm.
they give you. Like, no, if you buy a $10 CD, like, I forget what the percentage is on Bandcamp, but it's a lot. It's great. It's you get a solid chunk of money from that.
Yeah, or
So,
you can sell it on your website and keep all the money.
keep all the money, right? Yes. Yeah, that's a thing too. Like, centralized kingdoms of power aren't the answer because those places can go down. Like, look at Bandcamp and the kind of the turmoil they went through in the last couple of years with being sold to Epic and now Song Trader, and like, I mean,
Mm.
I think things have kind of leveled off. I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to that now, but like, who knows?
Yep.
Platforms can disappear. So,
Yep, having your own ecosystem. You've got to have that. Yeah, you can use those other things for discovery, but you've got to have
yes.
your own ecosystem. That's what.
Yes. Yeah, the idea behind it, the backup, the home base. I mean, just the website alone is crucial. Like, even if you don't spend a lot of time and try to do this and try to, but like, to have that for like that one day when Twitter goes down,
Mhm.
or your Instagram account gets shut off, like, you got to have a way to get news out of what you're doing. You were announcing your tour and now you're not on Twitter because your account got suspended. Like, yeah, some wild stuff out there. So,
Yep, being someone who just got my Facebook profile temporarily banned for God knows
oh,
why. And then when
Oh,
I got it back, it said, "Oh, you have two-step authentication. You need to get." And I'm like, "No, I don't." And so literally, I
oh,
have no way to get in there anymore. So it can happen to you. It can happen to anyone
yes,
for no good freaking reason.
that's right. At their discretion, and you have no recourse. And this whole thing, like, oh, you see people tweet, like, does anyone know anybody at Facebook? Like, good
Oh
luck.
yeah, right.
Good luck. Yeah, have fun with that. No way. No
That's not
way.
going to happen. Well, is
Nope.
there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to make sure to mention while we're here?
I mean, just the big part about the website stuff is the one thing I'll say is, like, why should I have a website in 2025? It's almost 2026.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people's websites are boring because we put all the cool stuff on social media. Like,
Hmm.
we kept shoveling all that cool stuff there. The behind the scenes, the we're in the recording studio, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm talking about this, like talking about certain subjects. Like, if you start putting it on your website, people probably get the hint and start going to your website. So, like, that's
Hmm.
kind of an angle that I love touching on recently, of just like, make your website a place where people would want to go, like, and put that stuff there, and let people let people get in the habit of, because I mean, Amazon's a website, Spotify is kind of a they're all websites. They're just not typing in your bandname.com.
That's a really
So,
good point. If you were updating them once a week, they'd go back there
yeah,
if they want.
if you compiled all those photos from shows and stuff like that, put it all on your website, not on Twitter, like, not on Instagram, like, oh shoot, I'm gonna go over to their website.
And if you have
See,
an email list and you're driving them to the website, because every
yes.
time you're updating it, you're like, look what I just have over here now. Come over
Can,
here.
can I just hit on that one real
Yeah.
quick though too? Is from your email list. I have a new video out. Put the video on your website. Link to the video on your website. Because when you send everybody to YouTube, you're now in YouTube's ecosystem, and YouTube is designed to keep people on YouTube. Is designed to make you forget why you came to
Now, to be fair, you could embed your YouTube on your website and then you
yes,
get the YouTube plays on your website.
right. Along with, hey, I have a new album coming out, and right here's a pre-order button,
Yes.
like, or a T-shirt or an exclusive tour, whatever, like a tour pre-sale. Sending everybody to YouTube is just like,
There's a
I
million distractions. I can't even figure out
yeah,
to find what I want when I'm on there sometimes because it's hidden
yeah.
by so many ads.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a big one we do at the label I work at. We started doing this 2.5, 3 years ago. Is like, every new press release that we have for an artist, instead of, of course, we send it to our list, and, like, it's video, it's this, it's a new song. We put a blog on our label,
Mm,
and every press release goes there first, and we send it to, whatever the size of the audience is. We point everybody to our website, to our blog, which is what, just one that much closer to a person buying it, rather
yep.
than rather than sending thousands of our fans to YouTube, where
Then
we're
they
going to
have
lose them.
another link to actually get to where they could buy it.
Yeah, if they even click
If
to
they,
make
which
it.
probably
Yeah, it's so difficult to find it. So yeah, we'll put it all there in one place, and it's just like, here's the video. Oh look, here's the vinyl. Oh look, here's how to get toward, like, yeah, put everything in
yes.
one place and point everybody to it.
I love that. And since
Yeah.
we're talking about that, I do have to ask this question since you're
Mm.
so website focused. What is your opinion on SEO in these days versus like the whole, am I gonna be picked up by AI?
Oh yeah. I mean, the SEO thing, like, I know I should be more, but, like, it's another algorithm. It's another thing. It's another thing to rely on, I think, or to
Mhm.
lean on too
And that can
much.
change in a minute and you lose all your
That
traffic.
right, yeah, right. And again, I try to think of it more like, in the terms of fans. Can I reach my fans to remind them that I know that I have something new on my site? If that's an email list, if that's an RSS feed, like, we all knew how to use RSS feeds 10 years ago, but we all just kind of got away from it because, like, Twitter and all them were there. It was like, oh, we don't need that anymore.
Mm,
We can go back to that. Like, that stuff is still works. Every Substack article, every Substack publication has an RSS feed.
mm.
Like, so Yeah, and then yeah, the AI stuff, the getting scraped and all that or whatever, and getting pulled into, yeah, I don't know how much time I'd want to spend into how do I get my stuff into that.
I
Like
think
I
the key is
get
just to put the right stuff on your site and it will find it. Make sure that everything on your site is
it,
very clear, it's not cryptic, and they know who
right,
you
yeah.
are, why they're there, and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like sure, if you want to be artistic and like handwrite your stuff and put up a scan of a notebook paper, go ahead, I guess. Or just like make it readable for everybody on all devices. Like that'd probably be the way to go.
Yep.
Um, sorry if I stepped on any toes there, but like, no, it's just like make it readable, make it clear, make it, don't put gray text on a black background. What do you, don't do that. Like black text on a white background has worked for centuries.
That's right.
Let's
That's
stick with that.
especially for accessibility and stuff. You got to make it readable.
Especially as, I'm turning 50 soon and now I have progressive lenses. Like,
Exactly.
stuff's getting harder to read. People like, come on,
I love
let's
it as I get older because I've always had visual difficulty. And
Mhm.
as I get older, it's like everybody's finally catching up to me. They all have to wear glasses. They all can't, can't see what
Take the glasses off to read a little closer. And
I'm.
yeah. Yeah, it's real. And yeah, like don't put white text on a beige background. Like I've seen that. Like, what are you make it readable. Like, yeah, so even before the SEO stuff and it's just some of this is so just common sense. Like, just make it readable.
Yep. Yep. I love that. Well, this
So,
has been such a great conversation. I have
oh,
loved
thank
talking
you.
to you about all of this. How can people reach out to you? How can they find out about Social Media Escape Club? I know you have a Substack newsletter and all that.
No, social media escape dot club
Got it.
is my website. Uh, or if you want to get even easier than that, I run a blog too. It's called sethw.xyz.
Mm.
That one's a little easier to remember. So, but that'll get you to all my stuff that I do. SethW.xyz.
I'm glad they don't have to
And
spell your
yeah,
last name. That would be hard.
everything's there.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and
You broke
sharing
up again
your
a second.
wisdom. It's been really, really great to have you
Absolutely.
here.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much for everything
I'm
we talked
honored.
about
Thank you.
today.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This has been fun. So.